the Blue Jays now say our staff made a mistake. That's kind of like the captain of the Titanic saying, "I made a navigational error." What the story is, folks, is an older gentleman, diehard Blue Jays fan, goes into the Sky Dome. I refuse to call it Rogers Center, and there's a reason behind that, but that's not important. And he was wearing a baseball cap, which had the words, "Canada is not for sale." And it was a red cap. And you know what I think, Drea? And this gentleman, an usher came up and security guards and said, you have to either take that off or you must leave the stadium. And he said, I'm not taking it off. And they said, well, go. And the Gestapo frog marched him out. Drea, I honestly believe that because the cap was red, that this dummy of an usher didn't even read the copy, just assumed it was a MAGA cap. And by the way, regardless of what's going on with the tariff tiff, I have no problem with the phrase, "Make America Great Again." Because yes, America is our greatest allies. I love Americans. I have great respect for Donald Trump. I want America to be great, the tariff tiff aside. So the idea that this was a political statement, and the joke of it is that this is the kind of rhetoric those on the left are saying.
Yeah.
Canada not for sale. And believe me, Rogers is your typical woke company. Look at this guy. How, even wearing the Blue Jay merch, he's bought tickets, he's got the merch on, and he's been fraud. Now the Blue Jays are saying, our mistake, we're going to give him a pair of tickets. Kind of like, the woman I did an interview on, Ashley Drea, who suffered a miscarriage at Sky Dome during a Taylor Swift concert. Imagine that. You had more than 50,000 people there, more than 90% being female, and they didn't even have any medical supplies on hand to deal with a miscarriage. They told this woman, who was in a state of shock, can you just go into the bathroom and shove toilet paper up there? Can you imagine?
Disgusting.
And by the way, that was Ashley's biggest mistake. She had cheap seats in the 500 level. She was told by somebody that had you been on the 100 level, the medical facilities are much better stocked. Rogers Communications, it is one of the most shameful scumbag companies they are. And that was their make good for Ashley. We'll give you a pair of Blue Jays tickets, tickets that are pretty much worthless because they're not selling out every game this year, not even close. But I'm off on a tangerine there. Drea, what do you think happened there? What was the unspoken reason that Canada is not for sale was somehow determined to be a political statement, and maybe it is or maybe it isn't, but B, that's not a bad political statement, I don't think, if you're a proud Canadian.
No, I think you're right where they probably misread it and the order came down. I mean, he had said that the people who actually approached him, or the person who actually approached him, was super nice and sort of apologetic. So perhaps the order came down from somebody who thought it said something else. And then I think it also speaks to how just a minute ago, the left hated Canadian flags. They were burning them. I know that anytime it's up on my car, every couple of weeks, someone steals it or takes it off and things like that. And so it's must channel in, take it down. But let's be honest, I just shared a link there when it comes to the center saying that it's too political for them. Did you guys get my link there? Can we put that on the screen? They have no issue celebrating Pride, of course, which is the most political movement, I would say, of the day. The Pride movement, it advocates for different rights. I don't know what rights they're still advocating for. I guess males to enter women and children's change rooms. And, they get funding from our government. You have politicians always coming out and speaking out. Pride is very political. They're having entire Blue Jay Pride presentation and events there, but yet this gentleman couldn't wear a hat.
When it comes to Pride, that's a sacred cow.
Oh, hi, it's Ezra Levant here in Toronto with an important message because we need your help. Independent journalism in Canada is under attack. Government censors, big tech deplatformers, and the dying legacy media are all working together to maintain exclusive control on the information you receive. They don't want you to hear other voices like ours, and they really don't want you to be informed and to think for yourself. That's why the work we do here at Rebel News is so important. Our on-the-ground reporting, independent news shows, and special content you won't find anywhere else. It's all designed to give you trustworthy information and alternative viewpoints so you can decide for yourself. We don't get government money, and we are not owned by some big global conglomerate. We're funded by people just like you, so please support independent journalism and help us continue our work by subscribing and becoming a Rebel News Plus member today, right here on the page. Go to rebelnewsplus.com.